There's a quiet moment that happens in a lot of households right around 5 or 6 in the evening. You sit down after a long day, you look down at your feet, and, well, they're swollen again. Not dramatically, just puffy, a little tight, maybe even a bit numb. And the thought that pops into your head isn't panic. It's usually something quieter and, honestly, a little sadder than that. You think, well, this is just how it is now. Just let that thought sit for a second. If you felt that quiet resignation, I want to gently challenge that today. Because in most cases, that swelling, that heaviness, that burning at the end of the day, it is not inevitable. It's a signal. And once you understand what it's actually trying to tell you, the fix is much simpler than you've probably been led to believe.
Here's what I hear all the time. Folks tell me they stay active. They take their daily walks, they elevate their legs at night, they've even worn those tight compression socks for months, and yet they still end the day with the exact same discomfort they started with. Listen, if that's you, you are absolutely not doing anything wrong. You're just missing one crucial piece of information that most doctors simply don't have the time to explain in a quick 15-minute visit.
And to put this into perspective, here's why this matters well beyond just your physical comfort. According to the National Institutes of Health, nearly 1 in 5 adults over 70 has measurable circulation problems in their legs. And get this, more than half of them have absolutely no idea. When blood moves sluggishly through your lower legs, it means slower healing. Your muscles get less oxygen. And crucially, your balance reactions, those split-second corrections your body makes when you stumble, they slow down. Falls become more likely, not because you're being careless, but because your body's early warning system has just gone quiet. The first sign usually isn't pain. It's just that heavy feeling you're already experiencing.
So what's actually going on here? Well, it comes down to something called the second pump. Your legs actually have a circulation system that operates almost entirely separate from your heart. It's a specific set of muscles, mainly in your calves. Every time those muscles contract deliberately, they literally squeeze blood out of your lower legs and push it upward. But here's the catch. After we hit 60, and especially after long hours of sitting, that second pump weakens. It essentially goes to sleep on us.
And there is a brilliant difference between what we usually do to fix this and what we actually need to do. Walking is wonderful, don't get me wrong, but walking uses momentum. Your second pump, it needs intention. It needs highly targeted movement to wake back up. And that is exactly what the 4 movements in this explainer are designed to give it.
Okay, let's dive right in with the very first movement, which is the heel press. I honestly consider this to be the single most underrated exercise in senior rehabilitation. Here's how you do it. Sit yourself in a nice firm chair with your feet flat on the floor. Now slowly press your heels down into the ground. Not super hard, just a steady, deliberate pressure. At the exact same time, pull your toes up towards your shins. Hold that for 2 full seconds. 1, 2, then release. That deliberate heel press and toe lift contracts your deep calf muscles against a fixed surface. It creates this wonderful compression effect on the veins below them, significantly reducing the pooling of blood. You want to aim for 20 to 25 repetitions, done slowly. Remember, speed uses momentum, slow movement uses muscle. Now that brings up a great question. That first movement is fantastic for restoring flow while you're sitting down. But how do you keep blood from pooling as you're actually moving around doing your daily chores? To do that, you've got to wake up the muscle that controls what happens the moment your foot actually hits the ground. And that builds perfectly into our second movement, the slow heel raise with a pause. This one gets us out of the chair and standing up. Go ahead and stand behind a chair and just hold it lightly. This is just for confidence. Please don't put all your weight on it. Now, rise up onto the balls of your feet. Go all the way up. And here is the secret. Pause. Hold it right there for 3 seconds at the top. Then, lower yourself down slowly, taking about 5 full seconds on the way down. Never ever rush that descent. That pause at the top, it's doing something most folks skip over entirely. Think of it like this. Skipping that pause is like just lightly tapping a tube of toothpaste. You might get a little bit out, but not much. Holding the calf muscle in a fully contracted state for 3 whole seconds sustains the pumping action. It's the difference between just tapping that tube and actually squeezing it firmly from the bottom up. Aim for 8 unrushed repetitions to start, and you can slowly work your way toward 15 over a few weeks. Which leads us to a really interesting thought. Can a simple, everyday balance exercise act as a form of continuous circulation therapy? Like, how do we create a prolonged, layered muscle activation that keeps your blood flowing upward continuously, rather than just in these brief little pulses? The answer to that is our third movement, the single leg stand.
Now, this might look like your standard, run-of-the-mill balance exercise, but it is actually powerful circulation therapy in disguise.
Here's what you do. Stand near a sturdy countertop and shift your weight over to one foot. Then, lift your other foot just an inch off the floor. It really doesn't need to be high at all. Hold that pose for 20 to 30 seconds and then switch sides. Try to do 2 rounds on each side. While you're standing there, beneath the surface, every single stabilizing muscle in your standing leg, your calf, your ankle, your hip, is contracting simultaneously just to keep you upright. That creates a continuous upward flow of blood. And hey, if you wobble, that is perfectly normal. Wobbling is quite literally just your nervous system recalibrating. Over time, you'll notice that wobble gets smaller and smaller.
So, now we've got the lower leg pumping beautifully. But how do we connect that lower leg circulation to the rest of your body? How do we bridge the gap from your knee all the way up to your heart?
For that final piece of the puzzle, we're going to head back to the chair for the 4th movement, the seated leg extension.
Sit tall in your chair. Keep your back flat against the backrest and your feet flat on the floor. Now slowly lift one leg straight out in front of you, keeping the knee as straight as is comfortable for you. Hold it for 2 seconds at the top and then lower it slowly. You want to do 10 to 15 controlled reps per side. And remember, no swinging. This movement specifically activates your quadriceps, those big, strong muscles in your upper thigh. When those contract, they compress the major veins running through the thigh, pushing all that blood further up the chain toward your core and ultimately back to your heart.
And that brings us to the complete picture, the full circulation chain, from ankle to hip. When these 4 targeted movements work together, the seated heel press, the standing raise, the balance hold, and the leg extension, they accomplish something that no single exercise ever could on its own. They completely restore the unbroken chain of circulation.
Now, the changes you'll notice won't necessarily be dramatic right away. They're quiet, they're personal. Maybe your feet just feel a little bit warmer when you sit down for dinner. Or maybe you'll notice that familiar tightness you always feel around your ankles. Maybe it starts easing up a bit earlier in the evening than it used to. Getting up from the couch to go to bed might suddenly feel just a little bit less effortful. Listen, these aren't small things. This is profound proof. It's your body telling you that the heaviness you've been accepting as normal isn't permanent at all. Your body still has the amazing ability to respond. It was just waiting for the exact right signals, and you just gave it 4 of them.
And you don't have to do it all at once either. Start with just one movement today. Pick your favorite. Do it while the kettle boils for your morning tea, or do it during the first commercial break of your favorite evening show. That is more than enough to start building the habit, completely pressure-free.
If this explainer gave you something useful today, I'd love it if you shared it with someone who ends their evenings the exact same way. They really deserve to know this too. But before you go, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. If 4 simple daily movements can wake up a system your body practically forgot it had, what other heavy burdens have you accepted as normal that are actually just waiting for the right signal to change? Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Let's get that second pump moving again.